Greetings and salutations, welcome to a brand new Premiership team guide. Today we are looking at Hull. So if you haven't seen one of these before, we do a quick overview of the club and look at the philosophies. We look at what the board expect you to achieve this season, the finance or not in the case of Hull, the staff, see if we need to improve the staff area, the team report, and then we look at the under-23s, under-18s to see if there's any wonder kids, and then go through the squad as a whole, talk about tactics, who could do with replacing, what sort of areas we need to strengthen in. So first off, we're going to look at the philosophies, and there's none. They don't care. That's fine. Makes it easy for you. But what do the club expect us to achieve this season? So let's hope it's got to be battle against relegation. Surely, yeah. The minimum expectation is the team fight bravely against relegation. I think that was to be expected. Fourth round of the FA Cup and third round of the League Cup. Okay, I think that's fine. We were going to do nothing but just scramble to survive in the Premiership anyway. So how much money are they going to give us to spend? £6 million. It's not a lot, is it? And look at the wage budget as well. It's pretty low. We've got £75,000, which is good, but the total wage budget is pretty low for a Premiership team. Okay. Going to be a tricky one. We'll have a look at the team in a minute. So as we look at the staff, our physio team is pretty good. Our scouting team is awful, and our coaching setup needs to be fixed. It's one of the worst in the leagues. The only good thing is a goalkeeper, and I think that's just because my manager is a goalkeeper trainer. So yeah, that needs an overhaul, complete overhaul. The whole system needs a complete overhaul, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. Here's the team report. I won't go through it in detail, but if you want to pause the video and check that out, do so now. Then on to the 18s. Have we got any superstar wonder kids? Because we've not got much money to spend. So if we can find a little gem, that would be amazing. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Moving on to the under-23s, we've got one that immediately stands out, and that's Josh Timman. He's the left-back, 17-year-old English left-back. Quite an attacking, going forward fullback. Good, well-rounded player, actually. His physicals could do with some improvement. But I think with a bit, he's got 17 determination. With a bit of tutoring, I think this guy can turn into a decent player. You could either loan him out this season, maybe even he's on a youth contract, so you'll need to give him a contract. Maybe give him some cup games, because he's not terrible. I think with some help, he could become a decent player. Then we got Dusan Kukic, Dusan is a 31-year-old goalkeeper. We'll have a look if we actually need him in the team. We've got another goalkeeper as well here, so probably not. Right, let's look at the squad. We won't go through every... Jesus, that's a lot of injuries. We won't go through every player in great detail. We're just going to talk about, positions as a whole, who we need improving, and have a brief look. So first up, we've got two goalkeepers. We've got Alan McGregor's out for 3 to 5 months. So David Marshall is our goalkeeper, and he's actually really solid. He's 31 years old. He's into his peak. I think he's perfectly fine. We don't have to worry about that. We've got backups in the reserves anyway, so we're all good. Sent on to the centre-back department, we've only got 3. We've got Michael Dawson, who starts 2 months out. Really, really strong defender, but just lacking pace. So bear that in mind when setting up your tactic. Maybe not so much offside trap for him, because he's never going to recover. Next up, we've got Curtis Davis, another sort of older player, but still a very good player. Again, lacking a little bit of pace, but really good otherwise. Next up, our younger option, Harry Mcguire. Again, not the paciest. So the whole of Hull's back line is not pacey, so do bear that in mind. But he's actually a very, very good youngster, Harry Mcguire. It could do with strengthening. I think we need a backup. I think we might need to survive on loans a bit more than the normal Premiership side. But let's have a look onto the right back position. So we've got Brian Lenihan, 22-year-old Irish bloke. He's okay. Backup, I guess. Pretty versatile, but yeah, he'll do as a backup. Let's hope he's not first choice, because that would be scary. Then we've got El Mohammadi, who's probably the first choice. Obviously, much better going forward. You can play him on the right side of midfield, or you can play him as an attacking fullback. Defensively, he struggles a little bit, but that sort of more depends on how you want to set up your tactic. Then we got Odubajo. I think I got that. Very similar, just a sort of similar version of El Mohammadi, really. Both very attacking fullbacks, so that's to bear in mind. We don't really have any sort of normal defensive or support fullback. They're both very much attacking wing backs in that department. On the left hand side, we've got the Liverpool player who I really rate. I think he's going to be a very good player, and for this team he's a really, really good player. really versatile player because he plays on the left-back position, but he's good at tackling, he's good defensively, but also very good at crossing. He's got an okay amount of pace. He's going to be your first choice. You don't need to worry, but unfortunately we don't have a backup for him, so that could be a slight issue. Okay, next up, we've got a player I love, Tom Huddleston. He's like me in football. It's like the fat kid running about. He has got a ping on him. He's got no pace whatsoever. He's a shit Perlo, but I still do like him, and he's still the sort of heartbeat of this team, really. He's got some lovely plays, decent free kick taker as well. He's going to get you some goals from midfield. Next up, we've got Livermore. Let's have a look at these injuries just to make sure. No, 4 months for our right back. Okay, the other right back, 7 months. Okay, Harry Mcguire, I forgot to look, 8 weeks. That's not too bad. Okay, so El Mohammedi's going to be picked first, isn't he? But we got Jake Livermore in central midfield, out for only 3 weeks, so he should be good for the start of the season. Really solid central midfielder, plays best as a box-to-box. I do like that role in this year's FM17, so that's good. David Mailer is more your defensive midfield option. I do like some of his physicals, although his technicals do let him down a bit. He's not really going to improve, but he's a decent squad player. Next up, we've got Marcus Henrickson on loan from AZ, joining permanently. So he is joining permanently, so that's to bear in mind. And he does look a very good player. Deep line playmaker option, really good passer of the ball, high work rate, off the ball's good, anticipation. I quite like him, actually. 23 years old, he's going to improve. Very, very nice. Well done, Hull, for picking that guy up. He looks decent. On the other sort of central midfield options, we've got Ryan Mason, obviously the Tottenham youngster. Decent young player, really good all-rounder. Look at the position, he can play any role pretty much perfectly. You might want to start training him up for a specific role just so you can increase those attributes that link to that. But nice to have a player that can just pretty much fill in anywhere. Other than that, we've got James Weir, central midfielder option, can play a few other positions. Best as a ball-winning midfielder. He's got some weird stats, this guy. Yeah, he's a decent squad player. I think you definitely need to give him some individual training just to make him good at what you want him to do, because he's got some weird stats. So, next up onto the wingers, we've got Sean Maloney, who's really versatile player. 33 years old now. His physicals are dropping. You can really see the age in him there. But other than that, really nice player, good free kick taker, always good, can play on both sides. He's two-footed, which is lovely. You can play him behind the striker. He'll definitely get some game time this season. One of my favourite players for Hull is Robert Snodgrass. 28 years old now, is at the peak of it. Another really good free kick taker. That's ridiculous how many good free kick takers. But he's left-footed. You can play him on the right as an inside forward, and that's probably his best role, because as an out-and-out winger, say, on the left, he doesn't quite have the pace. I always love a good amount of pace. 11 pace, 12 acceleration, not enough to be an out. So I'd much prefer to play him on the right as that inside forward position. Then we've got Jared Bowen, who's our sort of young option. Yeah, I suppose you need these players in your team just because we don't have a massive team, but he's mainly a striker. He's all right. He'll get better. Then we go on striker position, and this is one of the positions that we actually do have quite a bit of depth for. So first off, we've got Ember Carney on loan from Dynamo Kiev, and a very, very good striker. 30 years old now, solid striker, good strength. He plays best as a complete forward, a target man, or a poacher. I love that. Got good finishing stats. I think he can score some goals for you. Then we've got Will Keane, who's the Man United kiddie, isn't he? Yeah, picked him up for £1 million. Decent player. Still only 23. He's going to improve a little bit. He's never going to be a world star, but I think he's decent in the squad. Diamande. I'm trying to recall hearing his voice on Match of the Day. Him, right? Adama. Diamante, we'll call him, right? Striker. Decent squad player without being spectacular. Been at the season team a couple of years now. Nothing to write home about. Then we've got Abel Hernandez, who's one of the best striker options. I think he could work really well with Ember Carney. He's a good, well-rounded striker, but he's also a bit more pacey, so you could have him as your advance forward. I think he needs to work on his finishing a little bit there, but still a very good player. 25 years old. He's got time to improve. And then lastly, we've got Greg Le, and he is out for 5 months, and he's shit. So there we go. So we've got £6 million to spend, right? So it's not like we can rebuild the squad. So we have to be very particular about what sort of positions we improve upon. We need a fourth choice centre back. Whether there's anybody remotely, like Alex Bruce. How long is he out for? Fucking hell, the injuries are crazy. If he was anywhere fit, I'd just have him. We've got Barkworth. There may be. I'll leave the reserve searching for you guys, but we need a fourth choice centre back. Whether that's just a cheap older player, a free transfer like a Felipe Mexus. I don't know if he'll come, but that sort of player would be immense. There's a couple of other centre backs that have just gone out of my head that are available on free. But have a look at the free transfers right at the beginning of the game, because there is some centre back gems that you might be able to pick up, which is going to be important with the money we've got to spend. Next up, on the right-hand side of defence, I think you're fine eventually when they all come back from injury. Elmer Hamley's fine. You've just got to bear in mind that he's much more attacking than he is defensive, so you've got to work that into your plans. On the left, Andrew Robertson, one of the best players at the club, perfectly fine. Would need a backup, whether that's a youth player or a loan, it's up to you. Or, you don't really want to spend your money there because you've got your first choice. So I'd try and spend as little as possible just to get somebody to fill in if he's dead, basically. Central midfield option, Tom Huddleston, Jake Livermore and David Mailer I all like. Marcus Henrickson I like as well. So you pretty much sorted Ryan Mason as well. I think central midfield, perfectly fine. Strikers, perfectly fine. I think where I think we need strengthening, Jared Bowen's not a very good player. Neither is James Weir. So you've got Snodgrass and Maloney as your attacking wingers and inside forwards. I think that definitely needs strengthening. So that is where I'd probably pretty much spend all my 6 million or close to get somebody in, or look for a loanee signing. And I'd play I think I'd play a more normal 4-4-2. I think we've got. I want to play 2 up top with this formation. I think your strikers are good enough. You've got good enough backups. So Ember Carney and Hernandez, I think, are you going to be the men up top, delivering the goals, hopefully, to keep you in the Premiership. But let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Who are you going to buy and sell? Have you played Hull already, and what did you do, and how did you get on? Any sort of tips you can give to other people, like the tactics you used, would be fantastic. If you enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe for tons more FM17 goodness. I do, as well as doing guides and stuff, I also do like career saves and everything. I've got a massive save planned for when the game releases fully. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.